Why does every business podcast sound like a TED Talk?
Because nobody's letting founders just talk. And since we both love to talk and listen to other founders and their experiences, we decided to make a different kind of business podcast. I'm Stacie Staub, CEO and co-founder of West and Main Homes and a few other businesses we've built from scratch and plan to keep.
And I'm Madie Linder, CMO and co-founder. We've been in business together long enough that there's basically nothing we don't say to each other.
With each episode, we bring in a founder who's building for the long game, and we just talk about the real decisions, the hard pivots, and the stuff that doesn't make it to the reels.
We are your best friends in business.
Your best friends in business with Stacie and Madie. The best advice you ever had, so you won't have to ask your dad. Best friends.
So, Madie, we had like a pretty big week this week when it comes to Westway Lending.
Yeah.
So for those of you who might not know, we own a mortgage company as part of our, larger business portfolio. Westway Lending's been around for how long?
Oh my gosh.
Like 6 years?
4.
5 years?
It's as old as Ellis.
I don't know. Time is nothing.
Westway's as old as Ellis and West and Main's old as George.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to keep track of it.
That's great.
Okay. So we've had a mortgage company for like 4 years and we entered the mortgage business at a really rough time. Remember that day when interest rates jumped like 3 points? That was the day we opened the doors.
That's the day we were like, this is it.
We were like, we're
wait.
going to be rich. It did not make us rich. And it was a struggle. But we have the most amazing team that has stuck by us from day one.
We have truly the best team, the best LOs, the best processors, the best manager. And this week they got recognized for that.
Yes.
So it felt like such a big, just Westway coming through. It's not always flashy. The mortgage game is not flashy.
No.
Nothing like what we're talking about tonight or today.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Mortgage is like a tough business. It's just numbers and problem solving and truly helping people get into home ownership. So we're so proud of our team. Congratulations to them and especially to Molly Manley. She was recognized as a top 500 lender and the whole team was recognized as one of the top 10 small brokerages in
the whole country. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So brokerages of their size. So amazing. So that's our catch-up is good this week.
Our catch-up's
All
great
good news.
And they're just trucking along. So if you're like scared to talk about mortgages and you're like, I don't know, we make it not scary.
Yeah. And we try to make it fun.
Try to make it fun.
Yeah.
As fun as it can be. Mortgages.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fun, our guest this week is awesome. And her business is way more fun than mortgages.
Yes.
Yeah.
No offense, Westway, but we are here with the lovely Sarah Ortega from Sarah O Jewelry.
Best friends.
Most jewelry stores are run the same way. Commission-based salespeople, a case full of similar settings, and a sales pitch dressed up as a consultation. Sarah Ortega looked at that model and quietly built the opposite. She grew up behind the counter at her mother's Albuquerque boutique. She was designing pieces in her dorm room at Regis University, and when she opened a small spot on Tennyson Street in Denver in 2006, she wasn't trying to disrupt an industry. She was just trying to make jewelry the way she'd always believed it should be made.
Custom, collaborative for everyone. Sarah O Jewelry celebrated its decade of diamonds in 2025. 2 showrooms, a global online community, a gemstone selection she built one hand-picked stone at a time, traveling to shows since she was 13, and a brand philosophy built around the radical idea that everyone who walks through the door deserves to feel seen. This is a story about legacy, inclusion, and what happens when you build a business the way your mom taught you.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Excited to be here.
So speaking of your mom, you grew up in your mom's jewelry store. So I know your business looks a lot different than hers did then, but how did it start? Tell us about the very beginning.
So about my mom's store.
Yeah.
So I started with her. She kind of was selling out of a jewelry, like a shoebox at my swim meets. Her friend went to Mexico, would bring back jewelry. So she would sell jewelry out of a shoebox at my swim meets.
I love that.
Growing up and in the locker room, she would get all of her friends and they would buy all the jewelry, And so then finally I was like, Mom, we should open up a store. And here I'm like young and I'm like, I don't even know anything. So she started talking about that idea. And so she opened up her store and it was by appointment only. And I would go in there and I would help her with the cases. And I have always loved arts and crafts, and I have always loved design. So I designed her cases, but I didn't want her cases to look like every other jewelry store. I wanted it to feel unique, creative, fun. Maybe like we would get cool jars and we'd wrap a necklace around it and hang. So we just made it very unique. And so I would work in there. Sometimes I would be made to work in there.
Sometimes forced labor.
Sometimes I was forced because I would rather be doing something else as a teenager. But and then she started opening up a little bit larger store, and then it grew from there. But I would work in the store, work with her customers. I learned from one of her employees how to bead, so I was making jewelry for bridal parties, and that's how I got into making jewelry. Was at that point.
Wow. Amazing. I know that like we have such a long history with you. Like we've been friends for, I think, almost 20 years, 15 at least.
Probably close to 20, I would say.
I think so. So like watching UA evolve into Sarah O has just been like such an amazing journey. And just like, I'm so admirable. Like I just admire that pivot so much too. Like, so tell us about UA and how that started in the beginning, and then we'll take us into Sarah O.
So I grew up in the jewelry business with my mom's store, UA, and that's the name of her store is UA. And so I went to college at Regis. I was working for doing an internship at a local jeweler here. I was driving home one day and I was like, I want to open up my own store. Like, I don't want to be in a cubicle anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be in the store working with customers. And so as I was driving down Tennyson, I saw like this little teeny shop open and it said for rent. And so I knocked on the guy's door to try to like see how much it would be. And it was $800. And I was like, okay, I have like $1,000.
You're like, so this is doable.
Total.
This is it.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's all I have. That's all I have. I don't have enough money for inventory or anything. So that's all I have. So I was getting married that year to my husband, and he's a saver. So I was like, hey, you want to like go in on this business with me? You could have the office in the back. He just started real estate. You can have the back of the office. I'll be in the front. You know, we could do this together. So that's how I opened UA. And also I was thinking, you know, why reinvent the wheel? My mom has already created a brand. She already has business cards. She already has logos. So why reinvent that when my mom's already started it and she wants to work with me? But you know, I talked to her about it and she said, well, this is going to be your thing. You can use my name, you can use everything, but this is going to be yours. And I was like, but Mom, I don't have any money. Minor detail.
Just details.
She had a bunch of jewelry that was, you know, that was going to go on sale or whatnot. So I had memoed that from her. And then I would make a bunch of jewelry. So I went to the Tucson Gem Show. I bought a bunch of jewelry that I could string and make my own pieces, put it in the store as filler along with some of the designers that she carried. She carried over 100 different designers. So I had some inventory from her. So I kind of used her as just like that person that could help me out, grow the business, and a little investor in the company for a little bit. And then after that, it just kind of grew and grew and grew, but it took a while. It didn't just poof, open the doors, people walked in. I thought it would be that. When I opened the doors during First Friday Art Walk, there were 1 million people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, great. We're going to open up a store. It's going to kill it.
Yeah.
And then it was like crickets the next day. So it was like, that's when the work started.
Yeah. So what did that work look like?
Well, it looked like me trying to like, get people on Tennyson Street, because at Tennyson Street, there wasn't anybody that was really on Tennyson Street at the time. There were maybe a few businesses, but it was few and far between the different businesses. So First Friday was the best opportunity to try to get people to shop with us. But then I even created postcards. I had a little bit of a graphic design background. So I created postcards that one of my friends printed at his print shop for me. And I went door to door delivering postcards to the neighborhood with discounts on it to be like, hey, we're here. Come shop with us. We're new. We're local.
That's the hustle, I think. Like that, I think around that time was when that's when I met Mick, your husband. Had just started working at Live Urban, and I was doing the same thing. I was creating postcards and like got in trouble for leaving them on cars. I didn't know you couldn't do that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I got some angry kind of reach outs about that, and but that I think like that hustle and that initiative is like part of entrepreneurship, or it should be, frankly.
Yeah.
And I think like you bootstrapping the business is also like a familiar story in this season, but also I think you're one of the few that like truly started with like no investors. You didn't go on Shark Tank. You didn't, get like some initial funding or like do a VC round or any of that. And I like in the beginning, are there things that you wished you would have done differently? If someone was watching this and they're like, I actually want to open a little shop and I think I could do that and I have an idea and then maybe I have a product. Like, did you form an LLC? Did you like do all the businessy stuff from the beginning, or was it like that came later?
I did. I got all that stuff squared away. My dad's an attorney, so he made sure I had
that's nice.
everything in place. So we had it all. But I also couldn't, I wish I would have created maybe a little bit more of a business plan instead of just kind of just winging it day to day. Also,
I remember in UA, you had everything. You did not just have jewelry.
Yeah.
You had shoes, you had purses, you had everything. Because I was actually an UA customer before I met you.
I loved everything. Yeah. Whenever I went to market, I wanted everything. And, I just think like being able to hire somebody sooner probably would have been helpful.
Yeah.
But again, it's so hard to say. If I had the funds and the money to do it, I wish I would have hired somebody sooner instead of just kind of relying on myself and Mick to run the store.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were doing.
Me up thinking of Mick selling jewelry.
It was the best. It was the best. Like somebody would come in and they'd be like, "What stone is this?" And he would be like, opalite. And I'm like, that's not even a stone.
You're like, that's not true. That's wrong.
Fake.
That's completely wrong.
Nope. nope, that's wrong. You can't say that. Like, just ask me. But he figured it out. He knows jewelry now, which is pretty wild to think that he knows jewelry really well. But just being able to have somebody really help me out a little bit more in the stores. But my mom was in New Mexico too, so I didn't have her to fully rely on for that help
here day to day,
right? So Mick and I we didn't have any family here. So that was us just kind of doing it. So when I was sick, I was still kind of working. I didn't have anybody to fall back on, just saying, "Hey, can you open the store?" We just opened it.
Yeah, a lot of the founders that we've talked to through this first season and also who we've interviewed through the book, a lot of them did have a co-founder. And I know that Mick supported you in the business and was kind of like, an investor of sorts, or strategic partner, I guess you could call it.
I like that.
But it's really tough to just do it alone. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that load not only comes from the risk, but like the like mental load, the decision-making load, and no one to share like the skill set, right? Mm-hmm. Like to have like this complementary thing that Madie and I have. Like it must have been really like overwhelming, but also gratifying to be like, it's on me.
I had to figure it out. I mean, I am so thankful that I had that graphic design background, because to be able to pay somebody to do graphic design work or to make a postcard, or I built my own website.
Yes.
So like to be able to have that little bit, I mean, this is like, I'm talking like Photoshop had just come out. They didn't even have Illustrator at the time. So it was just like brand new. So I was using that to build everything that I did. I didn't know how to be a photographer, and I was photographing jewelry for the website. I mean, I kind of had to figure it out. We didn't have Google like it really exists today in 2006. No, we didn't have any like we didn't have AI or all of that type of stuff either. So it was just us trying to figure it out day to day, trial and error. I think some of the best things that happened to me were from like my biggest mistakes along the way. Like I was like, oh, I learned so much from that.
Well, tell us about some of those. Like what was one mistake that you like recognized early on now created like a path?
Well, okay, that's actually a really good question. Now I'm like, got to go back.
Going back to 2006.
Let me go back to 2006. Oh my gosh, Stacie.
No pressure. I mean, I think there are like moments that we look back and we're like, ooh, probably shouldn't have done that. Or maybe if I had done that sooner, like you already shared, like if you had hired someone sooner, like that, you know, could have certainly made things easier, but also like put that pressure on, then you got to pay that person, right?
I think with like now, like thinking back on it, just understanding finances a little bit more because that was a hard part for me, trying to do all the bookkeeping and stuff like that, because again, I was doing all of that myself. So figuring out how to do the bookkeeping, I had zero knowledge of that before.
That's also our least favorite part.
We hate that.
We hate that.
Yeah.
So having someone, the first hire we made was for that.
That would have been a great hire, because then I probably wouldn't be on the phone with the IRS all the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm not anymore.
No.
But when I first started, I mean, I didn't know what to do. It was a foreign language to me.
No, there is no like manual, right? And there still isn't. I mean, we're trying to write one, but like stay tuned. But I think like even when there was no like start a business for dummies and like do it this way and like here's all the things you need to know. And like you shared, like the internet was not anything like it is now.
No.
Like we couldn't go into Claude and be like, create a business manual for me to start a jewelry store. Like hell no. Like that was very far from the case and super far from reality. So then once you had UA up and running. And I remember walking into that store and having that, I was like, dang, this is bustling. Like, this is like a real business. Like, it's so cool. And then what happened to UA?
So there was a spot that opened up across the street, and it was a corner unit. And one of my friends owned the building, and she said, you have to open up here. It would be perfect for UA. And I was like, oh, this would be great. So I went into it with the complete mindset that I was going to move UA over to this corner unit. Yep.
Yeah.
It was a lot larger, bigger windows. And I was really excited about it. And then one day my cousin and I were walking by it together because she was helping me design it. And I looked at her and I said, I don't want to have UA anymore. I want to have my jewelry that I've been passionate about from the time I started UA, which is the engagement rings, the wedding bands, the fine jewelry, the gemstones, the sapphires. I wanted to have that be in that building, to be my own brand. And so I kind of had to rethink what I wanted of the business and where my heart was at in the business. And my heart was in what I had created, which was why people were in UA. They were gathered around the fine jewelry case. They wanted me to do custom pieces. And that's what I loved doing. But I also am so grateful for the experience that UA gave me, because I got to meet and work with over hundreds of designers. So I got to hear their stories. I got to work with them. And I feel like that was just the foundation that they had laid for me to go on my path to that corner unit. So I put it in that corner unit and I took that step.
And I remember for a long time there was, or at least a time, I don't remember how long it was, there was Sarah O, and then there was still UA across the street.
For about a year, because I had to go through the whole lease.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I went through the whole lease, and that was hard because I knew that they were going to tear down the building eventually.
Yeah.
So that was really hard. And for me to let go of UA was hard because I felt like I was letting the neighborhood down, because the neighborhood really loved UA and they really loved the price points because it was sterling silver and gold fill and fun, and it had shoes, and we had leather goods. And so I kind of felt like there was like this pool for me that I was like, do I keep it or do I focus on what I'm really, really passionate about? And I did feel like I let the neighborhood down. So there was part of me that went through a little bit of a, like I was really...
Like a mourning.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard if they're also going to tear down the building, then you're also like, I'm sorry. And also that's gone. So
I know. And it was so sad. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do it again someday. And I felt bad about it. But then at the same time, like I needed to follow what was my true passion.
Well, and I think, yeah, sure. Like you want to be able to like have anyone walk in and get a little treat or a little tchotchke or, whatever. But then you have to look at profit margin, right?
That was the other thing.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
$5 pair of earrings.
Yeah. Or custom designed engagement ring. Yeah, I think that's the reality that a lot of entrepreneurs face as well when you have to really hone in. And it sounds like this is the process that you kind of went through, even like in a totally strategic way, but you were like, who's my ideal client? And it's like the people that are walking in and wanting like this, wanting the things that I'm also passionate about. And it's not just the passerby looking for like a little birthday treat or a gift, So totally understand. And also like, thank goodness you did that.
It's been a ride.
Yeah, for sure. And like for those who aren't familiar with Tennyson Street, we've mentioned it several times, but Denver has a lot of walkable neighborhoods that are, full of boutiques. And unfortunately, we see a lot of like turnover, and it's hard to keep a small business going, especially locally owned, independent. It's not a chain. Like this is your heart in a case, right? And Tennyson really took like a turn development wise. It hit this point. And I think this happens in a lot of cities where the development and the need for housing, like, can sometimes destroy a street like Tennyson. And it happened a little bit. And did you guys feel that as they were building all those huge buildings, so close to the sidewalk and with no setback and like all the things that Denverites hate about that kind of construction, I feel like it's gotten it back, but you guys really had to ride that out.
We did. I mean, it was really sad to see some of our favorite houses go. The boutiques that were in the houses.
Yeah, those were cool.
That
too.
killed me to be able to see that. And I think what Mick and I decided, we actually were able to purchase our building that we're in. And what Mick and I have said from the very beginning is we are going to keep this building come hell or high water the way it is, because we are so passionate about keeping Tennyson the way it is or was, and especially that block. The old buildings have so much charm. And but it was really hard to kind of see all those go and different things moving in, and the houses that didn't have any retail on the bottom. That was hard. But also on the flip side, whenever they build those houses and the rent goes through the roof, and for small business owners, that rent just isn't doable. I mean, I was able to do it for $800 a month, but that doesn't exist anymore on Tennyson Street. So that's when we lose those really cute, unique boutiques that people are following that dream of theirs. And it's hard to have that in that neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, we really think that like those small local owned like mom and pops, like they are the fabric and like the heartbeat of America. And like to see that go, like it's why we love featuring these locally owned businesses like yours and want to continue to do so, because I just like want to support them so bad. Like shop local, please.
I know, right?
Yes.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
And especially with like online.
Yes.
So tough.
It's hard. It's hard. People aren't wanting to go necessarily into brick and mortar because it's so easy. You could just order it online.
Yeah.
But in person is so important too.
Yeah.
It's that whole experience. And I think people are wanting that back.
Agree.
And I think that that's why our stores are getting busier in the brick and mortars right now, because I think people want that connection to a human being selling them a piece of jewelry or selling them something. So I think that we're seeing that come back a lot more and more as the years have gone by, since COVID, probably.
Yeah.
We've really seen a turn since COVID.
Yeah. And I think like there's this moment and this opportunity. You guys are so good at social media. Like your team crushes the game. And like I want to go into Sarah O and buy something and then tag you guys. Like I'm not going to buy something on Amazon and then tag Amazon, like no thanks. Not to say I don't have Amazon at my house every once in a while, but I really think like small independent bookstores too are making like this comeback, and like they're really focused. So we're seeing like romance, like only bookstores or, kids only bookstores, and people wanting that experience of walking back into the bookstore again. And I think what you've displayed is like jewelry is the same way.
It really is. I mean, we have so many people coming in and people want that.
Mm-hmm.
Best friends.
Getting a mortgage is intimidating.
It totally is. Luckily, Westway Lending is an independent mortgage company that's all about personalized guidance, helping people get to their home ownership goals.
They work with both local and national lenders, so you've got plenty of options, and they take the time to actually find what fits you.
Whether you're a first-time buyer, refinancing, want to invest, or just need some advice, Westway makes the whole process feel easy and personal. Start your mortgage journey at westwaylending.com.
NMLS number 2374726, equal housing opportunity. So we have to know, founder to founder, lab-grown diamonds have completely disrupted the industry. Where do you fall on the lab-grown diamond debate?
Oh gosh. Okay, so this is super controversial, I feel like, but I love lab growns. But I also love naturals. I am 50-50 for the most part. And I think my team is too, right? I think when it comes to lab growns, they have all the same elements as a natural diamond, but they are just grown in a lab versus mined in the earth. But that being said, I mean, there are so many people that are wanting lab-grown engagement rings who may not have gotten a ring that they want. And so now this gives them the opportunity to be able to do that and to get the size that they want, to get the shape that they want. And this has given them the opportunity to do that. But also you can go larger and have fun with your design. So I think that that's kind of fun to be able to do that. And then as far as naturals go, I love naturals. That's primarily what I wear is naturals. But again, like naturals, they can be a little bit more expensive. They're very special, I think. You're going to get a lot more color variations with that. You can get the champagne diamonds in that color. Now, soon lab growns are starting to
make those variations
way
as well.
to do that as well. Yeah. Yes. And they are beautiful. I've seen a few of them. I saw a couple months ago. And they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. So it depends on what you want out of your ring, and I am here for both.
I love that you're offering both because I feel like 10 years ago or so, people were very absolutist about it. Like we carry no lab grown or, we're only lab grown. So I think it's nice you have something for everyone.
Well, I mean, part of, what I've always said with our store is everybody deserves something beautiful. So if somebody wants a large lab-grown diamond, you go do that.
Yeah.
You
live your life.
You get that.
You get that big shiny rock.
Totally.
You get what you want. Right? And
yeah.
so that's kind of how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, for example, I have a pair of studs. I wanted a big pair of diamond studs. I lose studs like nobody's business. I can't keep them on. I don't know where they go. Anyhow, I wanted a big pair of studs. I want lab grown. It's great. They make it a little bit more affordable for you. And I think that that's the beauty of lab grown.
Love it.
Yeah, I love that too.
Best friends.
This episode is brought to you by Upton Residences.
Picture living in downtown Denver. Your favorite restaurants, coffee shops, concerts, all just steps away.
That's Upton, Denver's newest high-rise at 18th and Glenarm, with floor-to-ceiling windows and views of the city and mountains.
Plus a rooftop pool, fitness center, co-working spaces, social lounges. Upton's all about living above the ordinary. Find out more and schedule a tour at uptonresidences.com.
I think we've gone through the journey, through the beginning at UA and then where Sarah O has gotten to thus far. And you've led the company from day one and grown into a team of about how big?
50.
Wow.
50.
And so official title of CEO, I'm sure that's been in place for a long time, right?
It has, but we just recently made a change.
Ah,
Tell
and
us
it's
about
exciting. It's really exciting. I have switched into the founder and chief creative officer.
Nice.
Which is really great for me because I haven't been able to sit there and design and do interviews and be the face of the company, tell the story, go out and just meet people and talk about our brand and be the face of the company. And now this has freed up so much to now I can create. The other day I was just sitting at my desk and I was like, what am I going to do now? And it's like, okay, now I have time to sit with my stones and design pieces and really start to get back into the brand and the storytelling of why and who we are, the way we are. So that's been kind of fun for me. It's not easy though.
No,
I will say, like,
I know. Congratulations.
It has actually been extremely hard. And this is probably my first time opening up about it, but it's kind of like, I kind of felt like, well, if I'm not the CEO, like, is it going to be run the same way? And is the vision going to be exactly the way I want it? And I found a great partner to partner up and be our CEO. Her name is Blakely Strickland. She is awesome. She's worked with me for 2 years now. And her and I have worked very closely with each other. And so it was kind of one of those things where we built up that trust and we know how each other, like, we know what makes each other tick, which is fantastic. But it has given me this opportunity to be able to give Blakely exactly what she loves. And that's like the operations, the business, the nitty gritty, like SOPs and all of that. Great, Blakely, here you go.
Yeah.
Take it all.
Yeah.
Now I can focus on the creative. But, I think that's just been the hardest thing, is to be able to give up that control. But I'm not really, because we're partners in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you're
So,
stepping
for
away.
sure.
You're
I'm
still
not
there.
stepping away. I'm still there. I'm still there all the time. I'm still with my team. And in fact, it's going to free up more time that I can actually be with my team more in the things that I actually like, that we want to work together and to like come together on those different ideas and stuff like that. So
Listen, I
it's
think
cool.
it is so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think like a founder's journey doesn't have to look one way. And I know this for sure. Like statistically, most founders don't stay CEO after an exit, right? And so I think like it's starting to become more common that founders do step into a different role and let their job evolve and decide how they want to look at their day to day. And like, you don't have to force yourself to do the things that you hate doing. And I know that my team has allowed me to do that for sure. Like, I don't do the bookkeeping. I don't do like the even overlook at the tech stack or any of that stuff that I used to do. I don't hire every single agent anymore because I just like was burnt out and couldn't like do that grind anymore. So I think like it's really brave of you.
It's hard, but I know that this is the best thing for the company, for it to grow and for my vision to go out there even more, because it's gonna be more organized.
Yeah.
I have ADHD.
Yeah,
I think I do too. I think that's why
And
we
very
keep
bad.
starting companies.
Yeah.
But we're so good at it. Because we
Yeah.
have like I use this as my superpower, right? It's my
Yeah.
superpower. But I'm able to now like really put that attention and everything focused on one, instead of constantly working on actually working in the business, it feels like I was doing. So now I'm giving it the opportunity to actually grow. And that's what Blakely is doing, is she is growing it while I'm growing that creative side.
Yeah, I love that. And I think like there was a moment that really catapulted Sarah O into the spotlight pretty recently. You had a piece on a red carpet.
Oh,
A couple red
Yeah.
carpets.
Yeah.
We've had
Yeah.
a few, but there's one special one. And that was with Tatanka Means. He was in Killer of the Flower Moon. I got a phone call from one of our agents in LA saying that his stylist wanted a turquoise piece, and he was from New Mexico. And I got super excited. Hannah, who's my creative director, her and I went to the gem show in Tucson, and we handpicked all of the turquoise that we wanted in this brooch, because we wanted to have him have a brooch, because we knew they were going to be super hot on the red carpet. And that was really special to have him wear that piece. But we only had like less than a month to make it.
Oh,
So we were going to make it on the computer with CAD, and then that didn't happen. And then because of the timing, it wouldn't be produced in time. So we got in touch with one of our artists that we know and have worked with in New Mexico that makes everything by hand. We haven't made anything by hand in a very, very long time. And so I was freaking out a little bit thinking that we weren't going to get this done in time for the Oscars. And we shipped it and he wore it like 2 days later.
Wow.
And I was just praying that it didn't get lost in the mail too. So.
Yeah, that's so scary. That's so scary.
When that popped up, Madie and I were like,
I was like, oh,
that is going to blow
It was so
up.
cool. It was
Yeah.
so cool. That was a cool moment.
So
That's
cool.
awesome.
Those are the moments that like you look back and you're like, okay, this was like
This is worth it.
all this
This is
hard
worth
work led to the red carpet. Thank you so much.
That was a dream. I saw it and I'm going to get a little emotional, but like I saw it and I was like, it happened.
like, doesn't feel real
It
almost.
was cool.
Amazing. You know, I saw an interview with the founder of Poppy. I can't remember her name at the moment. I can't remember a lot of things apparently right now, but such a good interview a few days ago. You know, she exited. She got acquired by Pepsi for $2 billion. Congratulations.
Casual.
Yeah. But she's still involved in the company. Apparently she's launching something new this fall. And I loved the question that she was asked on NBC News Now. So I'm going to ask you the same question. Like, as a company founder, when you're still in the trenches, you're still running your company day to day, like, is there anything such as work-life balance? Right?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's all work.
Something's got
It's
to give,
all
right?
work. It's all work. I just went on vacation with my family for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, I'm going to unplug. I'm going to do this. But no, guess where I found myself? In vintage shops, trying to source vintage pieces.
You're
And
like, I
then
just
for
so
my
happened.
newest project. So that's why I was doing it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to go great in my new store. This is going to be great. I'm going to style the shelves with this. It just doesn't stop. And
Yeah.
your brain is always going. But I think the key to it is that you love it. And that's like having that why on why you love your business is what keeps you going. And I'm always working, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to that point, like if you had to predict the future, like you've already said, you didn't have like a big business plan in the beginning. You didn't really sit down and like put out a roadmap or anything like that. And frankly, neither did we. So if you had to predict though, what Sarah O is going to look like in 5 or 10 or even 20 years, like what's your vision?
My vision is to open up in other cities. That is my goal. Hopefully we are going to be opening up in other cities.
Can we get a hint at any which ones you're looking
Well,
at?
we don't know yet.
Oh.
We're doing a lot of research. I actually have a team now that's doing all the
Oh, I love
research, which is so cool because they're doing research on, we've been doing pop-ups throughout the US.
Mhm.
They have been extremely successful. This year we pulled back on it. And not because they weren't successful, is because we really want to go into it with a full plan moving forward. And get super organized on how we're going to do these pop-ups, or are we just going to open up a brick and mortar? So we are right now building that foundation, creating that structure, because I want to take what we have at Tennyson Street and Dairy Lock, and I want to be able to replicate that in other cities. But in order to do that, I want the people that are working there and the team to have that same feeling that we have here in Denver, and it has to be a cookie cutter of what it is, because that is who I am and that's our business. So we have to do it right. And so right now we are fine tuning that and we're almost there.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, anything new coming in Denver?
Yes, I have a little project.
Let's hear about it. I'm so excited.
I have a little project. I am opening up a store right next to Sarah O on Tennyson. It's experiential retail store. It is called The Story We Wear. And the reason why it is called that is because I'm very sentimental about my jewelry. Every piece that I wear has a meaning behind it. And I feel like our customers are the same. They buy a ring for an anniversary or a child's birth, and they're creating that story and that piece that they wear. And so in The Story We Wear, experiential retail spaces have been popping up all over the place, and I wanted our store to have one. And in that store, we're going to have a gemstone wall. So we're going to have all the gemstones in there with all the birthstones. We're going to have 12 little nooks in there that are going to have all the birthstones. You're also going to be able to see the gemstone specimen which is going to be really great. So you're going to be able to see the stone. And then you're also going to see finished pieces. And then what I'm bringing in that's special is I have been on the hunt, a treasure hunt, to find vintage pieces to be putting in those little nooks with birthstones as well. So some of it's vintage that I have sourced, and then some of it is new, and people can create their story. And then what we're also doing in there is we are having a charm bar, and I don't really love the word charm bar, but although I will tell you,
It's not Pandora.
I did create one of the first charm bars in Denver and UA in 2006. So I'm just saying,
You were original
I
on
feel
that.
like I started it, but it's going to be an entire case or a bunch of cases, and it's going to take you through the flow of creating a piece. So you'll be selecting your chain, and then from there, we'll be selecting either any sorts of vintage charms or new charms or birthstones that you can add on to it. And maybe you just get one because maybe there's one thing that stands out to you that's special. I know in there I have like these vintage thimbles, and that reminds me of my grandma, right? And they're little pendants. So I might gravitate to something like that to add that. Or if there's something that's meaningful, and then you can kind of add to it. It doesn't have to be like, finish your piece today, but you could always add on to that piece because they are going to be in solid gold. And then I also am bringing in sterling silver, bringing back a little UA.
Oh,
So we also want to make it a little affordable too. But the pieces that are the sterling silver are the vintage pieces.
Amazing.
And then engravables, you can engrave, you can write a message, you can engrave it, you can bring in your dog's paw print, and we can engrave it on a necklace. So it's up to you what you want to do, but it's like choose your own adventure.
Magical.
So I'm excited.
We are so excited.
It's going to be fun. I just
wait.
love it. I'm so excited.
I cannot wait. Well, we'll be the first ones in line for that. For
I'll
sure.
I'll invite you to the VIP party.
Yeah.
Ooh,
please.
you know we love that.
Yeah, Sarah definitely knows how to throw a party. I've been to a few. Well, amazing.
Best friends.
Well, we like to wrap up every episode by sharing our mantra of the week. So we'll go ahead and share ours while you maybe think about yours. All right, cool. All right, Madie, what's our mantra this week?
Our mantra this week is zoom out.
Zoom out. Yeah.
So you could be in the trenches, in the details, and sometimes it really helps to just take a step back, remember why you're doing it in the first place, maybe have a little gut check about where you're going, and kind of navigate from there. So kind of zooming out sometimes.
It's something like we're not always good at this, actually.
No. That's why it's the mantra this week.
We're not going to bring up anything specific.
No.
But I think like as founders, as people running any type of business, actually, like looking at the day-to-day and then thinking about the bigger picture and how it all comes together is super important. So I love that mantra.
Yeah.
Good one.
Good job. I love it.
All right,
That's a fun
Sarah.
one. Okay, so this is one that I kind of tell myself actually quite a bit. And I tell my daughter this also. But a friend had told me this, and in fact, she had it on her voicemail, and it always like resonated with me.
On her voicemail message?
Yes.
Like every day?
Yes. Well, she also is an acupuncturist. So,
okay. I love it.
Yeah.
We're here for that.
And I love her to death. But it's to get what you've always wanted, you have to do something you've never done. And so that one is always kind of sat with me because I get very nervous when I have to do public speaking or something like this. Or, I just get really nervous. And it's something that I tell myself like, but you really want this relationship building and you really want to do this. So you have to do that to get to where you want to be. So
I needed that before the first episode, Sarah.
Yes, totally.
I have to give a speech tonight, and that's what I keep telling myself all day today. So that's so funny that you said that because I was like, oh my gosh, I have to I have to public speak tonight, and I'm like, phew.
Well, hopefully we got you warmed up.
It's fine. I'm ready. I'm ready.
You absolutely crushed this. So
this is just my warm up.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. We can't wait to get back into the store and to see what's coming and the story we wear.
The story we wear.
I cannot wait.
Dreamy.
Yeah.
I mean, as a brand alone.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And we'll be in stores next week anyway, doing things.
Yes, totally.
Sounds
Totally.
good. It was great seeing you guys.
So,
Thank
yeah,
you for having me.
so much.
Thanks, Sarah.
Your best friends in business with Stacie and Madie. The best advice you ever had, so you won't have to ask your dad. Best friends.
That's all for this episode of Your Best Friends in Business. Follow Your Best Friends in Business on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave a review if you can. It helps new listeners find the show. Your Best Friends in Business is produced by Weston Main Homes in partnership with Pod People. Special thanks to our friend Dave Christie for the music.